Hello guys and welcome to another video, and today we are back with the first episode of Season 2 of What If History Started Over. Now I do know that you guys commented stuff, so I will be using that. But before we get started, I have an upgrade to the map stuff. First of all, we have an alliances map, which shows all of the alliances that will ever exist. Right now it's only 2, and I have the state maps. So if we look closely, we can see I broke up the states so that you can see every single state. So then if I break up a country, I can use that as a baseline. Like, that's a bunch of different ethnicities, so that might be dividing lines in the future. But back to the main stuff. Now in the last episode we saw Italia expand really crazily, but now they have to chill. Like, they cannot afford to do anything else other than chill because they lost a huge chunk of their population in this war, which is not good for them. So yeah, they have to chill here. But what if we created a new country? That's the idea that I'm going for. And it will be around the Horn of Africa. We have Ethiopia now existing as a different shade of green. And this is the Ethiopia. I know we already have an Ethiopia in our timeline, but we're gonna have one here. Now I need to discuss its capital. It'll probably be around, I'd say right there-ish. Not too far to the coast, but not too far elsewhere. So now I believe we'd be in a new era, where people want to expand to combat the Italian. One country that we'll see expand rapidly is the Russians. They lost a chunk of land, so they want to expand upwards and gain more land. They push on up and explore here. They managed to occupy these territories, and that's where they want to draw up a new border. But they have to cede some land to Italia so that they won't declare war. But other than that, they are all good to just annex all of this. Italia gains land without even fighting a war, because of Russian appeasement. They'll give them one thing if it means avoiding war. So will the capital city stay the same? I'm gonna say yes for the time being, because there's no cities built up here, but they are going to build one right here. Hold on. Right here. It's gonna be like Petrograd, where Petrograd would be. You guys get the point. It's going to be right there in the future. Europe is looking more and more filled out. And I want to fill it out some more, as we're going to have another new country exist up here. A really weird looking one. It's basically the Nordic/Scandinavian Union. Jeez, my PC's being goofy. So yeah, the color's not been used yet. And where do we want to place the capital at? I feel like it's well to place it right there. There will be the capital. So I like Europe. It's filled in. We can safely say that all of Europe is filled in now, except for Iceland and a teeny bit over here. But what about Iceland? The British own that. It's just, when I went and made my peace deal map in the last episode, it didn't show this. But we're gonna say that they had to give up these territories towards this new Scandinavian country. And now, over in Asia, we're going to see China try to expand. It's the same red. It's cool. Anyways, the Chinese troops will push on down to the coast. They won't stop there. They will push on in to where modern day Vietnam would be. And from here we will draw the new border. Now China needs to stop expanding. Do I need to remind them what happened last time they expanded at a rapid rate? Didn't end out that good for them. So now China owns a large portion of Asia, which is not good for them. Do not do this. Watch this, they're gonna have another civil war relatively soon. But now we have the first age of exploration, because we're going to have the purple team, or the pink team, get a colony in Africa. It's off the tip of Madagascar here. This is the first African-Asian colony. That's a weird thing to say. Or Asian African colony. Now they own a little piece of Madagascar, which is really cool. And their administration would be like all huffing and puffing about this. Like, obviously, they're all huffing, they're puffing, all of that. So what will happen now? I feel like people will be like, oh yeah, Africa's a whole new continent. So everybody besides Italia will have another go at slicing up that pie of Africa. Now they have a chunky, very chunky Libya. Very cool merchant empire. Now they have to expand down the coastal territory. And this is when the Europeans first discover, wait, there's other people in Africa? What? Like, there's actually Africans in Africa? What? does this mean? This isn't right. They're European. What? Yeah, that's what they're thinking. Major racist. There is some Africans here, I will note that, but not enough to completely unstabilize them. So, yeah, they're gonna be fine for the time being. But with no wars being declared anywhere, we need a little bit of action here. So I guess we'll have another Chinese civil war. There's no orange, so it'd be good to use that color. Because in the new territory that's recently been annexed, they start to rebel. And when they rebel with force. But the government is not that weak. You know, they have an actual military. So they managed to push them back. But then, once again, Japan starts invading and they capture the capital. So it's basically a race to who can capture what. But eventually this will be what is captured by who. Now Japan won't be able to get anything from this peace deal, but the rebellions can. They will get these lands, which means that China will be split up again. Didn't even last that long. Like I said, it was gonna be next episode that they split up next, but China's too hard to tell, man. We're gonna say that their capital is probably around here. But we actually have a lot of changes without there being an actual war. But we're gonna need one more for this episode, so let's say it is them versus Ethiopia. But Ethiopia actually knows some great military stuff, so when they get their border troops there, the Ethiopians will be the ones that actually push through. From there they're gonna go up the coast. Now I will say that they're still inventing stuff, like guns hasn't been invented yet. Even like the very primitive form of guns has not been invented yet. But they eventually get kicked back, but enough to settle up a front line. And here's where, you know, they're gonna be funding this. So yeah, the front will move on exactly as they want, and as soon as we are soon to reach our actual original territory, they have to call a peace deal. And in this peace deal, we see that they have to give up all the land they just spent time and money on invading. Good for the Africans though, because now they're under an actual African nation with African leadership. And they are massive too, so they might be a major power in the future. So I'm pretty sure that would count as another country to add to the alliance map in the future. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to smack that like button. Give it an absolute butt whooping. You know the deal with YouTubers. And if you really liked it, make sure to subscribe. Also, watch my movie, Third Time's the Charm. It's out on the channel now. I'll see you guys in another video. Goodbye.